Bluff City Media presents the Two Buck Sports Show with your hosts, Rusty Buckets and Uncle Buck. Now, let's get to the show.
What is up, everybody? Happy Thanksgiving and welcome to your Wednesday and final show of the week for the Two Buck Sports Show. I am your co-host, Rusty Buckets, checking in live from East Memphis with my guy, Drew Gann in Tippah County, Mississippi. Uncle Buck, how's it going, buddy?
It's good. It's good. It's a chilly fall day here in North Mississippi. The sun is out, which is nice. And listen, I think everybody can relate. The day before a holiday might as well be a holiday because it just ain't much getting done. If you're not cooking and preparing food, you're just not doing much work.
I worked really hard Monday and Tuesday this week. I sent like 60 something emails across the first 2 days to touch points with vendors and clients and contracts and things I've got working, to where today I could coast and we could do a 3-hour show today if you wanted to.
No, I'm not going to do that.
I'm not either.
I got to smoke another bird as soon as we get off of here.
Yeah, we're heading to Jackson here in a little bit for a Thanksgiving / Maggie birthday celebration with her parents, and so I can't do that long. But I got all my work done so that I can coast into my favorite holiday just joyfully as we get ready to celebrate gluttony tomorrow. But if y'all are here, we appreciate it. Already the comments popping off. We've got Jared, King Meeks hanging out with us. Appreciate y'all being here. More to come, I'm sure, as the other knuckleheads figure out that we are live and start hopping in the comments. But before we get to a jam-packed sports show with a special guest later, we got to get some buffoonery out of the way first.
That's right, Buckets. It is the Thanksgiving Day Eve episode of the Two Buck Sports Show. It is a Wednesday edition, which means we've got our real or counterfeit here on the Two Buck Sports Show, Bluff City Media, every day at 11 o'clock right here where you're watching us. If you are watching us on X, I would like to cordially invite everybody to come on over to YouTube. Listen, we're not even the best part of the show. The best part of the show happens in the comment section, and all those cool cats are over here in YouTube. So head on over here, and if you're already here, give us a thumbs up on your way into the comment section, and then hop in the comment section and hang out. We're going to talk some buffoonery, Thanksgiving level stuff, as well as Memphis Grizzlies and some college football stuff that's liable to get some folks, namely me, screaming in the third segment. So I can't tease it any better than that. But it's our real or counterfeit segment. Rusty, hit us with it.
Yeah, so it's kind of an easy. It's a softball first one. Smoking a turkey is the best way to cook a turkey for Thanksgiving. I mean, it's a real or counterfeit. It's pretty softball one, I think.
Yeah, it's pretty softball. I think anything's better smoked. You take that any way you want to. I like smoked meats. You do ribs, you do pork, you can do birds, you can do whatever. Any meat that needs time is better to take the time and just take the extra time it is and smoke it. I like a smoke flavor. I like throwing some cherry or some apple wood or whatever in the fire pit as you're cooking it to give it all kinds of different smoky flavors. I'm all in.
Yeah, I mean, same. Like, I love it over apple wood. You can spray it with some apple juice to give it a sweet, crunchy outside. When we smoke a turkey at my family's house, my brother's been doing it since I've been gone. He and I typically kind of share that responsibility. We inject it with a little Tony Chachere's Creole butter to give it a little juiciness on the inside.
Oh, yeah. Of course.
Then you get that crunchy layer on the outside. Smoking is the best. If you can't smoke it, fry it. I think baking, roasting is kind of that's the low frequency version. If that's your family's thing, more power to you, but it's just not mine. Prefer a smoked turkey, and it's far and away a smoked turkey.
Again, this is an ancestral type thing here. Like, you've got to do it over a fire if given the opportunity. It's something that I live by. Yeah. And, yeah, you could do it in a very modern way, and you can throw it in a fryer or throw it in the oven, God help you, if you like dry turkey. Spend your time, do it the right way. It's something my dad always taught me. If you're going to do something, do it right. And the right way to do a turkey is by smoking it.
Absolutely.
And I'll take it a step further. Everybody that's got your fancy electric smokers, you're cheating. You are missing an opportunity to have a thing to do for 4 hours without being bothered by family, by kids, by in-laws, by outlaws, anybody. If you have just your standard run-of-the-mill smoker that is not electric, then you have to baby this thing. You've got to constantly tweak and change the flow patterns and all this other kind of stuff. You got to make sure it's right, and it takes a good 4 hours to smoke it. And if you use the electric options here, you free up your day to do chores or laundry or babysit the kids or change a diaper. And no, be a man. Regulate your own temperature on your own smoker.
My uncle and I once did a whole half hog. We smoked a whole half hog for Thanksgiving. And that was about a 14-hour process that started in the wee hours of the morning and went until we ate in mid-afternoon. And it was a time of camaraderie, brotherhood.
Say that word again.
Consumption, camaraderie.
Oh, that's not what you sounded like. I thought you said camaraderie.
Camaraderie. No, camaraderie, brotherhood, beer consuming. And it was a great day. I popped the tab of my first Miller Lite. He brought the beer. I didn't complain. I never complain about
Diet Miller.
That's it. And I popped the first one. I said, you can't drink all day if you don't start in the morning. It just happened to be 3 in the morning.
This a bucket list thing for me. I've got a green egg, and before anybody calls me rich, it was a gift. I was smart. That's what's different between me and all you. I'm smart. In my groomsmen party was a man who owns a home and outdoor store and was able to rally up the funds from my groomsmen and get a discounted large green egg. And so I'm smart. I'm a smart man. And so I like smoking stuff, but it is like I would love to do like a whole hog roast one day where you dig out the ground a little bit, you can bury it. Some people bury it, throw coals on top and bottom, or rotate it on a spit, whatever. I want to do that one day.
Yeah,
and then
absolutely.
Just throw the whole thing on a table and say, enjoy.
That's what this was. He borrowed a 55-gallon, it's like one of those old metal 55-gallon like drum barrels that somebody had cut and turned into a smoker.
Like a water trough?
Yeah, essentially that it had a lid. You could open it. We could pick up, rotate, and then put the hog back down. So we got it evenly cooked. It was banging. Like we tried to pull it off and like just bones just came right out. Like it was just.
Did you put an apple in the mouth?
No, we didn't because he like plug your ears, Maggie, and all those that are a bit more sensitive. He only had half a mouth, so it wasn't going to stay in there.
You missed the shot.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
You shot that pig, and it had to starve to death before it died.
No, this was we bought this off of a farm, and it was a literal half hog, and so
they went back of the head. Yeah.
Yeah,
gotcha.
And just chopped it right lengthwise, hot dog style.
You had that big hot dog style. That's good.
Yeah. So
if we only thought hot dogs came from pigs.
Well, I mean, it is pig adjacent, or it's got some pig in there somewhere.
Yeah. Everything's got some pig in it, but I mean, that's it. Not enough.
Is your family a dressing or a stuffing family? Do you know the difference?
We're Southern, so we do dressing.
Yeah. Attaboy. That's a good call. Yeah. I've had stuffing in South Carolina and not a fan.
I've never had stuffing.
So you just stuff it in the turkey and cook it. And when it comes out of the oven, it looks like that turkey is like defecating out your stuffing. And I'm like, I want nothing to do with this. Now, one thing I did have when I was in South Carolina with a family, this family that I got to be friends with, they did like a true low country Thanksgiving. So they did like, good. Buddy, they did like an oyster roast. They did a turkey. They did like the whole thing, or appetizer for smoked oysters. Like first year I didn't have anybody do Thanksgiving when they invited me over. It was on the marsh. We had all this great stuff, but they did like an oyster dressing. Don't knock it till you try it. It's just like our Southern dressing with sage and all that, but it had little cooked oysters in it. Absolute
fried oysters.
No, these were steamed. So you do like an oyster.
All right. I can't do fried oysters. I can do.
Yeah.
I can do charbroiled, or I can do cold oysters. But
I love like Mimi, my grandmother. Everybody says like it is my my grandmother's is the best dressing, right? Everybody says that. And Mimi, my grandmother Mimi, she does the best cornbread dressing, and she uses sage, and she like nobody can get a recipe because it's just off of feel, and she's been doing it forever. And that is the best dressing I've ever had. Mimi, plug your ears. But that oyster dressing gave it a run for its money because it was an absolute 10 out of 10.
Haley did dressing for the first time ever, I guess, at our last Thanksgiving that we did. We did a Friendsgiving Saturday. Where I made I smoked that first bird. And she does really good. She does that. She's like an old woman at heart. I mean, God help her. She's about 21 days away from being 30, and it's just really setting her back. But she's got old woman tendencies to where she just throws stuff. She uses the swag method when she cooks. She can never repeat it, and that's the difference between a true old woman and my wife, is that my wife to this point has not been able to recreate something that she's been incredible at. Just always tastes a little bit different. It's always good.
And that's okay.
Yeah. Does not write anything down.
No. That's okay. Real quick, I know we're talking Thanksgiving. We got college football coming up. We do have some breaking news. It is looking like Alex Golish is going to take the Arkansas job, the South Florida coach. I think that's a really good hire for Arkansas. If you can go to South Florida, turn that program back around, win, be a guy that, he's an energy guy. Players love playing for that dude. If this is coming, it's coming out, it's slow rolling. Trey Shop, who is a source that Jared says usually has a pretty high hit rate for Arkansas football, is reporting it. If that's true, that's a good hire for the Arkansas Razorbacks. But we got plenty of time to talk about it in the third and final segment. Before we do get there, we have a Grizzlies basketball game tonight that we're going to talk about. We'll hit the commercial break after, get a special guest on for y'all to talk a little college football, but let's talk a little Grizzlies.
That's right. It's $2 Sports Show. That was our real or counterfeit segment.
Yeah.
I forget what day it is. I'm telling you, the holidays just get me. That was our real or counterfeit segment, in which I deemed it to be real, that the best way to have a turkey is to smoke a turkey. And I stand by that. Anybody who disagrees is wrong.
Absolutely.
And if you would like to debate it further, get in my DMs or debate your refrigerator.
Or hop in the comments and let us know, and we'll tell you that you are wrong.
Yeah, it'll be a short conversation, but you can have it.
Everybody reserves the right to be wrong. You can come exercise yours here with your friends on the $2 Sports Show.
It's the only way we exercise at the $2 Sports Show. Our right to be wrong.
That's exactly right. But the Memphis Grizzlies do have a basketball game tonight in New Orleans against the Pelicans, Drew, against a team that somehow worse than we are this year. The Pelicans have not been, we're thankful for the Pelicans, right? Like it's like
in a season of thanks, we are thankful for the Pelicans and the Kings.
It's like the state motto for the great state of Mississippi is "Thank God for Arkansas."
Yeah, that's
Same thing here in Memphis. Thank God for the Pelicans. We traveled to New Orleans over on FanDuel. We open as a 4-point road favorite. Grizzlies are minus 166 on the money line. If you want to throw some player props down, the point over under for Jaren is 21.5. Cedric Coward 13.5, and Zach Edey, if he can go because of his noggin, is at 11.5 points. Drew, I think I'm going to take
keep talking.
over.
I got keep talking. My computer's apparently come unplugged and it's about to die.
Oh, fun! It happened to me on the daily grind yesterday. So, so Jaren Jackson Jr. 21.5. He's due to pop at some point. It's got to happen at some point, and I don't know why it couldn't be tonight. I mean, the Grizzlies need him to step up in the absence of Ja, especially if Zach Edey is going to be out. We need him to step up and have a big night. Tonight would be the perfect night for that. He's going to have a great matchup. The Pelicans are beat up. They have a lot of guys that are going to be out. They've got Jordan Poole is out. Herbert Jones is out. DeJounte Murray out. They're pretty banged up like we are. So if there is no Zach Edey, Jaren needs to have a big night. You got a rookie in Derek Queen as an opportunity to go and kind of punch up on a rookie. It's nothing like a get-right game for the Grizzlies, who are coming off an impressive loss to the Denver Nuggets, both from the performance of Nikola Jokic, and we fought for the most part of that game. We need an opportunity for a get-back game, and that's what this is. The Pelicans did have a big win this week. They had a big offensive showing against the Bulls. They won by 13, but that lead was a lot higher at different times throughout that game. Tonight would be a good get-right game for Jaren Jackson Jr. He has been a part of trade rumors more than ever before, it feels like, over the last few days since that Nuggets game, especially. The heat has turned up. Everybody's want to trade him off for anybody at this point. Tonight would be a good I'm back type moment for Jaren. If that ankle is healthy, he's feeling better. He is not on the injury report for tonight. So tonight could be a good bounce back game for Jaren Jackson Jr. Another guy who's set to have a big night if he can play is Zach Edey. So I like I told y'all, it looked like he just had a migraine headache. Like it wasn't anything severe, anything that was going to be long term. It looked like it was just going to be. He didn't look like he felt good against the Nuggets, and then an errant elbow from one Nikola Jokic looked like it kind of exacerbated the headache a little bit. Drew, he missed some time last year with that cluster headache. He was on the shelf for about a week or so. Looks like he's day to day. If he feels good, he'll play tonight. I'm sure we'll get some more information closer to the tip off in New Orleans as to whether or not we're going to have a Zach Edey game tonight. And I hope that we do get Zach Edey because we need all hands on deck. And tonight will be a good night for Zach Edey to beat up once again all on the rookie Derek Queen. Drew.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right, sorry about that. I don't know what happened. I plugged it in time, and then it just went to sleep, so apologies. But, yeah, this is a get-right game. In a time in which we're all trying to be thankful, I'm most thankful that we are playing the New Orleans Pelicans tonight. We've not beaten anybody consistently except for the New Orleans Pelicans in the last 2 years. We really need this to go our way. Life is about mojo. It's about feeling right. It's about playing hard, and I think that this is a game you get confident for. Hopefully it doesn't go the other way and you think you kind of a little overconfident.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm excited for this game. You really need it. I've been impressed with how the team kind of plays hard. They've done a really good job of kind of putting a whole game together for the most part. You need shots to fall, but that's just basketball at a certain point. Really want to see Zach Edey tonight be good, continue to bring a little bit of force, and see the ball move around. As we talk about how I won't speak for everybody. I talk about how much I hate this offense when it comes to how it does not accentuate the star players.
Sure.
You don't have any star players right now. And so we really need this offense to work, bebop the ball around. Hopefully it raises the floor of the team when there's not a superstar out there. And so I think you can get right here, get into Thanksgiving, and have a good fat meal, with your family.
We've seen that, right? We watched that Kings game. I was at the Kings game and the Mavericks game. The passing was crisp. The ball moved effectively. It highlighted what it does. It highlighted role players, and role players were able to be successful against some bad teams with our best players out. And tonight's another opportunity for that. Like you said, there's no DeJounte Murray. Guys, I believe Zion is not on the injury report, so I believe he will play. But the Grizzlies
one more time that Ja and Zion are not playing against each other.
If you look at the matchup prediction on ESPN, they give the Pelicans a 51% chance to win. But on FanDuel, where it truly matters, we're a 4-point road favorite. I think we get the win tonight in what is going to be an awesome get-back game and a get-right, like I said, a get-right game for us as we head into the holiday season that we travel to. This is the beginning of a road trip where we head to the West Coast after this. This will be a great first win before we start heading out to California.
Yeah, so what do we have? New Orleans, Clippers,
the Kings, and then there's one the Spurs, maybe.
That sounds right.
Yes. Oh, no, sorry. That was right. So it goes New Orleans, the Kings, the Clippers, the Kings, the Spurs, and then we're home for 2 against the Clippers and the Blazers. That could be a 5-6 game winning streak if we show up and act right. That's all we got to do, just act right. Handle your business.
Yeah. I mean, it is easy to look at down the line there and say you should win these, especially, the biggest upset would probably be San Antonio in game number 4 of this road trip. And I don't know what Wemby's situation is, but you think that that's a game that you could win if Wemby's not playing. If you contain Harrison Barnes, of all people, and keep De'Aaron Fox from going nuclear in a quarter, then you could win that San Antonio game. You could get feeling right about it, but it's really hard to project 4-6 game winning streaks here, or even 4 out of 5 or 4 out of 6 at the rate we're going. So you got to start somewhere, and there's no better jumping off point than going to New Orleans. Yeah. And New Orleans, they like to eat. So those eating parties have probably started already.
Mm-hmm.
And so maybe Zion is bulked back up to 350, 400 over the last few days.
Could be. But that's it. We've talked about the Grizzlies enough this week. They've not been playing good, and we're hoping that they get right tonight and continue to play better as we go forward. But we're going to take a quick commercial break. That's all the basketball talk we got for today because it's rivalry week. We've got big college football games with playoff
Say that 3 times fast.
I asked Maggie to say it last night, and she messed it up. Luke messed it up on the Daily Grind this morning. Makes you sound like Barry Kripke if you know when you're trying to say rivalry week way too fast. It's from the Big Bang Theory. But on the other side of this commercial break, we're going to talk some college football, big rivalry games, and then did the playoff committee get it right last night? We'll talk that and more right after this.
In the heart of the Highland Strip for 27 years, Trilogy Tattoo has helped tell stories for Memphians for generations. Located at 530 South Highland, Richie and his team are waiting to help you tell yours.
From tattoos to piercings, your body art should be as unique as you are. Voted a Memphis Flyer top 3 tattoo shop in the city of Memphis since day one. Your story will be safe here at Trilogy Tattoo.
Open 7 days a week, Monday through Saturday, 11 to 11, and 3 to 11 on Sundays. They have convenient times waiting on you. Let Trilogy Tattoo help you tell your story.
Some games define a season, but the Egg Bowl defines a state. It's not just a game. It's bragging rights, family lines, and hatred that few rivalries can match. Forget records and rankings. In this game,
unsportsmanlike conduct on all players from both teams.
The tradition is chaos, and this year could be the most yet. Mississippi State has something we haven't seen in years, a bite behind their bark. Starkville believes again, and the Cowbells will be out in force. Across the field, Ole Miss comes to town with everything to play for, but that's not what we're talking about. Lane Kiffin's dramatics hang like a dark cloud over Oxford. The Rebs have dodged distractions before, but never with this much on the line. This year's Egg Bowl promises to be crazy. It's for postseason positioning, state supremacy, and an opportunity to play spoiler like never before. What will be the story this year? The only guarantee in this game is chaos, and Grind City Brewing is your home for every single second.
In Memphis, we know a thing or two about resilience. From the grindhouse to the Delta, we protect what's ours. But when pests invade your home, it's time to fight back. Grade A Pest knows how to handle what crawls, flies, and bites. With local experience and guaranteed results.
I'm Reggie with Grade A Pest Control. We service the Memphis metro area. That also includes DeSoto and Fayette County as well.
Grade A Pest has the entire Mid-South covered. So if bugs and pests put you to the test, let Grade A solve your problem.
Welcome back to the $2 Sports Show Wednesday, Thanksgiving Eve edition of the show. Thank you guys for being here with us on this holiday eve. It is actually Cousin Kirk's birthday today. So if he's listening on the treadmill or wherever else is, anybody who's listened for a long time has heard stories of Mississippi's favorite patrolman, Cousin Kirk. And it's his birthday today. He's 33. Marcus Allyear. So
young
Marcus
and
Allyear.
spry. Speaking of young and spry, we got our guy Zach Callahan coming in live in the trenches in Auburn, Alabama, I believe. Is that right, Zach?
That is correct, man. I'm here, boots on the ground, brother.
Let's go, man. A 5.5-point line in Auburn for the game on Saturday. But we'll talk about that here in a minute, man. First, we had the debate earlier. We want to know, turkey, do you smoke it? Do you fry it? Do you bake it? What's your family's go-to?
Well, look, we got a couple things because I was listening. I got a few takes here. So with the in-laws, soon-to-be in-laws here, we do it all here. We smoke, fry, and oven. So we do 3 turkeys, big squad, a little bit of everything.
Jeez.
It's yeah. So we got the full squad going. Now we have, we're all kind of down here. So in this house, we do the smoke and the fry, and then another house does the traditional bake. That traditions, they won't get away from it. So they got that one going on over there. And then here, we've been doing the fry. Has been like the last couple of years we introduced that, but the smoke is the go-to. That's what everyone loves. You guys nail on the coffin there. But what I did here that I need to clear the air on a little bit is this whole stuffing dressing situation.
I was curious
because you were throwing some
The
slander out.
Northerners chiming in here.
Yeah. Look, came from a Midwest family here, right? A lot of Midwest Thanksgivings. Here's what you got wrong. First of all, nobody's still putting it in the bird. That's not happening. I mean, in some places, sure, yeah, I bet you hit some Googles and stuff. Head up to Indiana sometime and we'll make you a real one. And this is what I like about it. Is the one that my family does is it's, your traditional dressing, as you guys call it. Personally, that's ranch to me is dressing. But the stuffing, we do like a sausage, pepper, onion one that's got like breakfast sausage in it with peppers, onions. Oh my God, it's so good. So, and that is just, that's stuffing. Yes.
Breakfast sausage is kind of like saying breakfast cereal, right?
Yeah, but it's like how you buy you buy that log that says like breakfast sausage on it. I don't know the brand, no free ads
Jimmy
here,
Dean,
but
Tennessee,
right,
fried, all these ones because I'm not going to throw an Italian sausage in a biscuit. Like I want like a sage or a maple or like a breakfast sausage. Then I'll throw I'll throw a cheddar wurst or like a bratwurst on the grill later, and that's more of a grilling sausage.
Exactly. So that was just kind of the separation there. But I'm telling you, it's legit. It is good. I'm fine with it all. Been in the South for a while. Little cornbread dressing is perfectly fine with me. My fiance's family, they make a like oyster dressing. That's my personal favorite, and that slaps. So I'm all here for it. Yeah. But
I mean, listen, I'm a chubby guy. I'll eat it all. It doesn't bother me one way or the other.
All good.
But the oyster dressing does slap. I'm glad I got somebody that can.
Yeah. Let me tell you, we are multi-generation Mississippians here. I don't know if we've ever been anywhere else before. We were in Ireland or wherever the ancestors came from. So if I show up with oysters and some dressing, they're going to think I'm voodoo magic over here. That is just something we are not messing. We're Christian. We do dressing out of cornbread.
Well, now there's cornbread. You just got oysters in the dressing, and I'm telling you, dude, don't knock it till you try it. Some steamed.
It's good, man.
Just
are oysters crustaceans?
I think so.
Because both of my brother-in-laws are just the worst people because they are allergic to shellfish. That's what I mean. Are they shellfish? Can you eat oysters if you're allergic to shellfish?
I don't think so. We're gonna learn something.
It's a pretty dense shell. I'll put it. It's in a shell. So I don't know.
Oh yes, they are. Yes, oysters are a type of shellfish. They belong to the group called mollusks, which includes clams, mussels, scallops, squid, and octopus. So there you go.
Octopi don't have shells.
They're a shellfish.
Wow, you're shellfish.
I don't know. Probably. Wait.
Hey, breaking news. Let's talk Alex Golesh real quick.
We're going to get there real quick. Before we get there, speaking of shellfish, we're going to talk a little bit of, come on. There it is. Grind City Brewing this Friday. Be a little shellfish on Friday. Come out to Grind City Brewing after you've had your family time. We're going to be hanging out there watching football all day, starting with the Egg Bowl at 11 o'clock. You could be miserable with me because I'm going to be miserable during that game. Mm-hmm. And then we're going live at 2 o'clock. 2 p.m. live Bluff City Media show, a college football Saturday show on Friday. Be show up in your Ole Miss or State gear. $5 beers for all those fans. I know the Ole Miss alumni chapter and the Mississippi State Memphis alumni chapter have sent this out to their contingencies. making the rounds on Instagram and through their email channel. So we're expecting a good crowd. Y'all come hang out with us. It's going to be a good day. Good day for football because we start with Ole Miss and State. Then we got Georgia, Georgia Tech, A&M, and Texas on the nightcap on the projector. Y'all come hang out with us this Friday at Grind City Brewing, your home for college football. Now, Drew, hit your breaking news.
Yeah, so it has been reported, although Trey Shapp is who reported it. I've not heard of Trey. Jared is a big Arkansas fan. He says trust him, so we'll trust him. I haven't seen the major nationwide newsbreakers break it yet, but they say that Alex Golish has agreed to a contract to become the next head coach at the University of Arkansas. And as a ginger bearded man, I subscribe. I think Alex Golish is a really good coach, and I think that is one of the best hires that Arkansas could have made because it seemed like they were going to go the coordinator route or the G5 head coach route. You saw Eric Morris go to Oklahoma State yesterday evening, be announced there. The North Texas coach is now going to Oklahoma State. And so I think Alex Golish is a great hire for Arkansas.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I think he was a winner at South Florida. He's got that team. He had that team in the thick of the G5 group or in the college football playoffs. Like was playing really good football. Got a good upset of Florida. Went toe to toe with Miami for a little bit. Then Miami dusted in the second half. But I think Golish is a great hire. I think if you can win with those resources at South Florida, coming to the SEC in Arkansas, I like this hire if it comes true. Zach.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, he was one of those guys that kind of was like floating around on those Auburn lists and stuff like that. And he was one where I was always like, there's guys I want more, but at the end of the day, if he ends up being it, like he's a super good coach. He seems to be a players kind of coach, young, fiery. And it seems like that's kind of the trend that we're seeing right now. And I think Arkansas, like, I'm kind of shocked, honestly, they didn't find a way to just hire some celebrity coach or fumble the bag or an offensive lineman coach or something like that. They went out and got a guy who, knows ball, seems like he's going to fire it up, bring some energy to that program. I mean, we know Arkansas, like we've seen what's happened with their basketball team. Like they have resources and stuff. And so they got money, they got that Walmart money and everything like that. And so I think it's a good hire. It feels like he would fit in well there. And, yeah, I mean, if it ends up being the case, I think that's if you're a Razorback fan, you got to be happy.
Yeah, anybody that's not Petrino or Jimbo Fisher was probably a smashing success for anybody who cheers for the Razorbacks.
Pretty much, yeah.
You just didn't want that. Eric Morris would have been cool, but the Morris last name probably triggered a bunch of folks in Fayetteville. Mm-hmm. And because Eric Morris would have brought the quarterback, the Mestamaker dude who's leading all of Division I in passing right now. And so you did get him, but you probably didn't want him. You didn't want to trot out another coach that welcome to Fayetteville Hog Country, Coach Morris, or everybody would just like went into their bunker.
And I think it worked out for everyone because I think Morris fits Oklahoma State like super well. Like he's going to be able to continue to air it out there. He doesn't have to go dive into the SEC defenses with that offense. And yeah, I think if this is the case, it kind of works out for everyone. And yeah, now we have all these Auburn rumblings going on and stuff, so I'm ready. I'm expecting I'm expecting we're gonna get that notification on Sunday or Monday if I had to guess.
Is it DJ Durkin? Because there's a lot of momentum behind him right now.
If he beats Alabama, it will be DJ Durkin.
Everything that I have heard and the rumblings in the Auburn and some people within the athletic department and everything is all that Summerall is pretty much a done deal. And that he's going to be the guy. And there is real conversation that no matter what happens on Saturday and stuff like that, that Summerall wants to bring Durkin, keep Durkin as the DC, and Durkin seems interested in that. So that's up in the air. That'll probably be solved down the line. But everything that I've heard is that it's pretty much a done deal with Summerall. So we'll see. I mean, it's not a done deal until it is, but that's kind of all signs are pointing that way.
You go out, you upset Alabama and really upset their season and what they had in front of them. DJ Durkin gets carried off on some shoulder pads. We might be having a different conversation next week.
For sure, yeah. I mean, it's all up in the air still about that. But I think if you had to ask me right now, gun to the head, it would definitely be Summerall. I mean, I think even like I've heard other things too, but just this past week, like 35 Auburn players have followed Summerall on Instagram, like little things like that, where you're just like, one after another, you're like, okay, it kind of seems like this is going to happen, which he's been one of my top guys.
That's what makes this coaching carousel so fun to follow, because as an Ole Miss fan, I hear the exact same thing. If it's, I hear that it is Summerall. And I hear that Summerall, if he has the opportunity to choose, he would choose Ole Miss, and that comes from an Ole Miss site, but it's a guy who breaks every single thing that Ole Miss does. So I kind of trust him. Yeah, I think that Ole Miss is weird though. Ole Miss is that's not something I think. That is just an absolute fact. We don't really know what's going to happen at Ole Miss. And John Summerall, if being
bird in the hand is way better than a bird in the bush.
And that's what makes me think there's something to wait on. I think that both Ole Miss and Auburn are waiting on something. Auburn is going to wait out the Iron Bowl result, and Ole Miss is having to wait on a Lane decision, and which makes me think if you told me if he takes a job tomorrow, he takes Florida, because that is the actual bird in the hand. If that's the only school right now.
Who takes Florida?
Summerall, because that is the actual bird in the hand. Somebody who would take a yes right now.
Yeah, from what I heard was that Summerall, like all that stuff happened with Florida and everything like that, and then that got leaked, meeting canceled and stuff, and then Ole Miss with all the Lane stuff up in the air. From what I heard, it was Auburn basically went back and was like, let's go, like they upped the offer a little bit, and we were like, let's go ahead and tentatively like lock this in, and we'll announce it after the Iron Bowl. So we'll see. I mean, it's all up in the air. Of course, like I'm hearing it from Auburn people, you're hearing it from Ole Miss. I'm sure Florida thinks they have 14 head
Florida
coaches
still
currently.
Thinks they have Kiffin.
Yeah,
right.
You scroll Twitter, they're dead set that Lane Kiffin has a house in Gainesville and he's coming. When, buddy, you're probably third on that list.
Yeah, so it's like we won't know until we know, but that's just kind of what I've been hearing from my end.
Everybody just pray for our wives and significant others as we sit through Thanksgiving weekend, just scrolling and refreshing Twitter and
looking for or you could just be Mississippi State. We're not good enough to be not good enough, not bad enough to be changing coaches. So we just are what we are. We got a game, and Zach, we talked about it yesterday on the show. We talked about the Egg Bowls. I'm gonna have to add y'all each time we go to these. As a third party, right? Like there's all the distractions, all the stuff going on around Oxford, around Ole Miss and Lane Kiffin. What's your take on the Egg Bowl on Friday?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, I just want to say, not blowing smoke up your guys' turkeys for this one, but I love this game. Like this is one of Iron Bowl, Ohio State, Michigan, and then the Egg Bowl has always been just a personal favorite of mine. It doesn't matter if these teams stink, if one's good, one's bad, it always produces a great product. And it's always like, it's the Thanksgiving night. It's like, oh, this is like, we're kind of kicking off rivalry week, and I love it. I mean, obviously the big question is like, what's Ole Miss like? Where's Lane's head at? Have they been preparing properly? Mississippi State has shown that they can be frisky this year. It's, to me, it's a lot like this year's Iron Bowl, where it's like one team has everything to lose, kind of. One team has nothing to lose. I think Ole Miss is the better team. It's at Mississippi State, though. Same with the Iron Bowl being at Auburn. I think it's going to be a really good game, no matter what happens. If you had to ask me, I'd probably say I like Ole Miss to win, but State to cover is kind of what I feel. Like, I think Ole Miss will find a way to pull it out with just being a better football team. But I think that it'll probably come down to at least a touchdown if it's a 7.5 point spread right now. So,
like Drew talked about yesterday, Lane Kiffin in his Egg Bowls, he just kind of sits on the ball. He doesn't allow it to get out of hand. So if they get a touchdown lead, 10-point lead, I could see Ole Miss just kind of sitting on it, letting Kewan Lacey take it up and down the field, be satisfied with that. I don't know that they necessarily need to go flex. I don't know that, and he just hasn't. That would go against the grain for Egg Bowls. But like I said, State's frisky, and you never know. That's why we play the game. If you'd have asked me like a month ago before all the Lane Kiffin rumors would have been swirling, and truly, I think before the Lane Kiffin rumors started swirling, this line would have been 12.5. Maybe even a bit higher. But because of all the extra distractions, that's brought the line down to a 7.5-point game. And in games like that, in Starkville, crazier things have happened. I'll say that.
Yeah, so are we going to go ahead and pick this one now?
Yeah,
Is
let's
that
go
what
ahead
you're
and pick it
wanting to
now.
do?
Let's
Okay.
do it now.
So for the reasons I laid out a lot yesterday, Lane has always treated this as a transactional kind of thing when it comes to players, and he can be consistent with his messaging despite his nefarious behavior over the last 10 to 14 days. He can approach this with consistency, actually, because he's always said this is transactional. Most of you guys came here for money and opportunity, and you have money and opportunity to play for right now. And reports coming out of practice, given limited practice availability for media, is that they're having good practices. The messaging coming out of practice that they are physical, they are in tune. There's not a lot of sign of distraction. And you just look at what Ole Miss has done this year in games in which have been a little bit frisky, a little closer, that could go either way. Against Oklahoma, you get a lead, you keep the lead, you ended up winning by 8. Against Florida, you struggle for 3 quarters, you end up winning by 10. You're just able to kind of get what you need out of them. I think Ole Miss covers. I think this ends up being 10. And if there is a cover, I can see a real opportunity for a backdoor cover for Mississippi State if Ole Miss gets up 10 or 14 and allows to just play the clock game, to hand it off, play the clock game, and allow Mississippi State to backdoor cover this late. I can see that being a possibility. But again, I don't pick games based on emotion or what potential chaos could happen. I think Ole Miss is 8 points better than Mississippi State, even on the road. They're 10-1, and everything goes weird. But if you predict weird in the Egg Bowl, it's always going to be weird, and you don't know which way to pick the weird.
It's going to be weird one way or the other. You just can't know.
My hope is that it's not. My hope is that this is a mundane game. It's one thing that I've really loved about the Lane Kiffin Egg Bowls the last 2 years. It's that there have been no shenanigans in which you go for it on 4th down inside your own 40-yard line, or you don't give up multiple field goals and get stuffed at the 1-yard line. It's just he's going to take the points, he's going to punt, he's going to call a pretty traditional game. And if he does that, I think that Ole Miss can win. And I think Ole Miss wins. I think Ole Miss covers. They're going to be hosting a playoff game in Oxford,
Possibly.
Mississippi.
More to come on that at the end. We are going to talk the college football playoff picture at the end. Zach, who you got in this game?
I'm going to take State to cover because of what you're talking about, just the weirdness and the potential at that line at 7.5 at the back door. I mean, honestly, for me, if I, taking this, I really like the over 62.5. I see this being a points fest. And I know that's a crazy high number, which makes me like it even more. But that's like where I would be at. But yeah, if we're taking spread here, if it's 6.5, I'm probably taking Ole Miss, but I see a way with that 7.5 is always that number where I'm like, give me the road dog or give me the home dog team there. That's the underdog, and just see if they can find a way.
Mm-hmm.
I hope this line just continues to go down, if I'm being honest with you.
Yeah, if I were you, I would too, yeah.
I mean, it started at 10.5, it's down to 7.5, and Ole Miss people and national media or whatever probably panicking like, oh, this is a sign that Ole Miss is distracted. And I've heard Lane's messaging too often about just the business-like nature.
Well,
I hope it just continues to come down.
It's not like it used to be. These kids. Lane said it himself. These are basically mercenaries. Like, these kids follow the money. They could go anywhere they want next year. Like, it doesn't matter like it used to. In that these kids are going to show up. They're going to play ball because they're not necessarily playing for state pride and representing their state and the university they grew up cheering for anymore. They're playing for the team paying them the most. And they know that they benefit if they go out and they play really well in this last game, let's say under Lane Kiffin. Next year they could be at LSU with him, or they could be at Texas, or they could go to Notre Dame, or they could stay in Ole Miss and get a big fat paycheck. Like, there's incentive for the players to go out and play really hard, play really well. So I don't know that the distractions are going to be as big of a thing as they think. My thing is, with this game, Mississippi State has covered. We're 8-3 against the spread this year. The only times we did not cover were at A&M, at Missouri, and then at home against Georgia. Those are the only ones we didn't cover on.
So just real quick, this is from Jared, just sent it to us. This is per Kyle Sutherland at He is the publisher of Hog Beat on 3 Network for Arkansas. He says no signature yet for Golish, but it's trending that way. So I guess that's why you're not seeing the big name guys coming in.
Yet.
Still a opportunity for it to fall apart, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, cool. Yeah, so anyway, I think Mississippi State has an opportunity to cover. I think they will cover. I think we could win this game if the majority of the snaps go to Kamario Taylor. Blake Shapen is what he is at this point. If Blake Shapen is the starting quarterback, you can go ahead and guarantee we're going to spot Ole Miss at least 2 fumbles because that's just what Blake Shapen does. He's not comfortable in the pocket anymore. His MO is to run away from the pressure instead of stepping up or trying to by running away, I mean straight backwards. Either into or straight backwards, like not running away from it, but running back. And so he either just runs into the defensive end or gives them another 8-10 yards and sack
yards.
He's
the first responder. He runs towards danger.
That's it. Yeah. Kamario Taylor at least gives us an opportunity to be dynamic and be athletic and more than just a passing pocket passer. So I'm going to take the Dogs to cover. If Kamario Taylor plays the vast majority of snaps, I think there is an upset that can happen in Starkville. Speaking of upsets, this is why we got Zach here. We've got one of the biggest games in the college football playoff picture this Saturday on the Plains in Auburn on FanDuel. Alabama is a 5.5-point favorite. That is such a weird line for this game in a place where Auburn magic happens. All of the last 2 years, it's been Alabama magic. Zach, I don't know. Like, what's your take as the homer here on the Iron Bowl on Saturday?
Yeah, I mean, this is what this rivalry is like all about, in my opinion. Like, it's going to be weird, no matter, like you were talking about with the Egg Bowl. Like, it's going to be weird. Something weird is going to happen. Which way is that going to break? I mean, we'll see. I mean, it's, in my opinion, the best rivalry in college football, if not in like all of sports. I mean, as someone who, grew up close to Auburn, over in Southeast Georgia, it was always contentious even there. And it was kind of like, what side are you on, this, that? I mean, obviously for everyone to say, I mean, yesterday I was driving from Memphis down here to Auburn and we stopped at Chick-fil-A and they have like cups.
Hey, man.
For what team you're on, what side do you want? And then you have like half the restaurant sitting on one half with Alabama cups and the other half with Auburn cups. I mean, it's like that. It's in the Chick-fil-A's. I mean, they're taking it to Jesus chicken. It's going that far. But I mean, look, it's all the great moments, everything from, kick six, cam back, bow over the top. I mean, even just in 2023 with the 4th and 31 for Alabama. I mean, I was there for that game. Absolutely devastating. But something's going to happen. I like the spot that we're in from the standpoint of like, we have absolutely nothing to lose, but if we can find a way, it kind of leaves a good taste in our mouth at the end of the season. And we get to say we ruined Alabama's year, which we've done before. It's one of those classic things where it's like, lots of times when Alabama's lost this game, it's been like, oh, some kicking problems. Well, guess what? They've had some kicking problems this year. Different things like that. If we're talking like real X's and O's and stuff like that, I mean, I think what stands out for me is just what we've talked about before is Alabama being so one-dimensional on offense. And for Auburn, that's not really great. Like, just if you look at the whole season, because we have a top 10 absolutely elite run defense. The biggest problem with our defense has been the secondary. And so if Ty's comfortable, he could pick them apart. I mean, with the receiving talent they have, if he can find his guys and just pick us apart, it could be a real long day. But if we're able to get pressure on Ty, pressure the quarterback, create some turnovers, that's where you kind of see an opportunity for Auburn. And then on the offensive side for Auburn, I mean, it's just been night and day since Hugh left. I mean, it's been ridiculous. I mean, it's just been insane. Right. So, I mean, Hugh's last game, I mean, it's what I said the entire season. It was just, it wasn't working. We have the talent. Like, it doesn't make sense. I mean, Hugh's last game, we scored 3 points against Kentucky. I mean, yeah, all-time embarrassing performance. I mean, ultimately glad it happened for him to get the hell out of there. But you go since then, 2 games, Vanderbilt, and then Mercer at home. Mercer is what it is. I mean, they're a good FCS team. They're top 5 FCS team, but they're Mercer. No offense to them. But I mean, against at Vandy, 563 total yards of offense, and then Mercer 547. And you have a true freshman, which we have to talk about Deuce Knight for a second, because that performance,
Yeah.
I don't care if you're playing the school of the blind. I mean,
Yeah.
he 6 total touchdowns, 4 rushing,
Video game
2
numbers.
passing. I mean, if you watched any of that game or any of the highlights either, he looked it's what a 5-star is supposed to look like. I mean, the way he glides, his takeoff speed, his footwork. I mean, he hit the passes he needed to. I mean, he is a true freak. My biggest thing is just like, give him the blank check right now, bring back 8 and 9. Cam Coleman, if we have Cam Coleman and if we have Deuce next year, I mean, it's like, oh my goodness. But Ashton, I mean, his performance against Vandy, good quality team with a good defense. I mean, like 350 passing yards. I mean, he was unreal. So this offense is not the same Auburn offense that it's been all season. And so I think that gives us a real opportunity to hang in this game. We're going to have to just establish the run early and often with Cobb and Ashton. I think you're going to see a lot of running from Ashton, and then get the ball to the playmakers, find some interesting, unique ways to do that. I mean, with Singleton, with Malcolm Simmons, like, you can run quick out screens with them. You can put them in the backfield at different times. And so I think they're going to have to get creative with that. I think ultimately it comes down if Durkin can put together the right defensive scheme to put Ty under pressure. And then if that game is close, the closer it is, the longer it goes on, the more in favor it is of Auburn, because it's the first
rivalry
night
games.
Yeah, rivalry game in Jordan-Hare, first night Iron Bowl in 14 years. I mean, that place is going to be also, now that Hugh's gone, everything, the attitude of the fan base is completely different. Like,
it's going to be rowdy.
It is everyone's behind this team right now, and it's kind of like, and it's going to be an absolute circus in there. And if we can create a turnover or do anything, it's going to go nuts.
What I was just about to say, that's what plays into this, because Oklahoma had the recipe, right? Ty Simpson had a day against Oklahoma, but they lost a turnover battle, 3 turnovers. And in a rowdy environment like this, you get Ty turning the football over, there's a shot, man. Like, it's a non-zero chance that this could happen, given the right recipe with turnovers, a rowdy crowd, running the football, getting the ball to a literal alien in Cam Coleman. I mean, there's a chance, but it ain't happening Saturday night. I'm going to take the Tide to cover. I'm going to go ahead and make my pick here. I think Alabama's got everything to play for. Kalen DeBoer has some guys locked in. Oklahoma was one of those get right, refocus type games that we've got to protect the football. I think Alabama wins by a touchdown and secures their spot in Atlanta.
Yeah, I don't know what the Auburn administration wants. Obviously, they want to win, but if they really want to go hire their coach and they don't want to hire Durkin, it's probably best if Auburn loses this game. But because things will get emotional, and if Auburn wins this game, I'll put it in blood. Like, DJ Durkin will be the coach, and it's not a terrible hire. It's not sexy. I'm kind of anti-hire the interim every single time, but there's just no doubt about it.
Really
Matt Luke is the reason, is the result of Ole Miss upsetting Mississippi State in an Egg Bowl one time, and you just don't want any part of that, in my opinion. Although I think Durkin's good. I think this is a really fun. It could be a really fun day for Auburn. Like, as an Ole Miss fan and the underdog in the Egg Bowl, I dread the Egg Bowl every year. As an Auburn fan going in this Iron Bowl with what you saw out of Deuce Knight, who I hold a lot of resentment towards. Ole Miss thought they had flipped him 18 times before he ultimately went to Auburn or stayed with Auburn. He was absolutely incredible. Alabama's got a lot of holes. They've yet to be able to figure out the run game. You thought that Jam Miller was the answer, and that riddle has been solved. They've not been able to run the ball. Oklahoma made them look silly. Ty Simpson looked human. He went into that game with 1 interception on the year, finished with 2 and a fumble to lose that game against Oklahoma. And I think Auburn's defense in this environment will be better than Oklahoma's. I think it's set up for an extremely no-loss situation for Auburn fans this year, this season. So I'm going to take Auburn minus 5.5. Listen, I'd be foolish if I didn't put this disclaimer out there. If Auburn wins and Ole Miss wins, I only need one more thing to happen for Ole Miss to make its first SEC championship game appearance. And so I will be, hopefully, on Saturday watching the Iron Bowl, hoping for Auburn to win.
Zach, who are you taking? You taking Auburn?
Yeah, I'm taking Auburn. Yeah, I mean, of course. And the one thing, too, is, like, I think it's the most Auburn thing ever, like you were saying, where, like, I think we all kind of don't want Durkin to be the next head coach. And so, to me, it feels like, you have Summerall sitting there, like, ready to go, and we find a way to win this game. And then, like, long term, it ends up killing us. Like, it's like we end up hiring Durkin, Summerall goes somewhere else, he becomes an all-time head coach. We're like, but remember that one time we won that Iron Bowl that didn't matter really?
Right.
It just feels like a thing that would happen. But either way, I just think there's just so much. I've seen this story before, and it just feels like a game that Auburn finds a way in a gross kind of way to win. And I think that's what the program kind of needs right now, because we haven't actually had those. My biggest fear, though, is that we play great the entire game, and then we do what Auburn's done the last couple of years, and we just can't close out games. Mm-hmm. And it's this great game, and we've been up, or it's been close, and we get the turnovers, we get all that stuff, and then the last 2 minutes of the game, Alabama drives down, scores touchdown, our hearts are ripped out. That's kind of like my fear. But either way, I mean, look, I'm here, I'm in Auburn, boots on the ground, I'll be there Saturday. Like, I got to go with my Tigers.
Got to be you're in the trenches, you're in this thing, so you're going to ride it till the wheels fall off. But that's just one of many games on this weekend that are going to be electric. We're not going to pick all of these, but some of the other ones with big implications. Georgia at Georgia Tech. Georgia needs their conference season is done. You need this win to remain in the top half of the college football playoff. Some kooky things can happen for Georgia Tech to get there. I don't know that any ACC team is actually good. But in the next game we are going to pick, we're going to talk a little bit A&M and Texas. Big rivalry game. A&M is a 2.5-point road favorite. That's not a big line at all for an undefeated team heading in. And it's
Texas A&M, the undefeated Texas A&M?
Texas A&M, the undefeated Ags, are a 2.5-point road favorite at Texas. Arch is coming in hot, guys. Arch, in 3 of his last 4 games, he is going for over 300 in the air. Texas fans, you're welcome. Because Mississippi State, he got that concussion, and it scrambled his eggs. And since then, he's been better. Like, we hit hard factory reset, Control-Alt-Delete on Arch Manning at the Mississippi State 20-yard line, and he's been on fire since then. And so this could be an epic shootout. Both of these offenses can go. Texas's defense has been they're like 100th in overall defense. They're like 90-something against the pass. Like, they're not a good defense. And so you talk about taking the over. This could be a game that you should take the over in, where a whole bunch of points are going to be scored. I kind of trust the home team here. I'm going to take Texas plus 2.5. Let's get weird as a fan of a team that's completely out of the mix. I'm rooting for chaos, and because of that, I'm going to take Texas at plus 2.5. Zach, what you got?
Yeah, it's so funny you said the undefeated thing, because I literally what I wrote down was like, I still just find it so hard to trust this A&M team just because of all the past years and everything like that. Like, I saw this and I was like, hey, they're still undefeated. Like, they're still the best team in the SEC this year, like all that kind of stuff. But it's kind of one of those things where every time I think that, I'm like, it's a different A&M team. Elko's a dog. I'm a huge fan of him. And I think that this is a game that I want to eat the cheese, but I think A&M is just that much better. And I think Elko has them in the right place. I think they learned a lot from like last year when they lost that 4 overtime game to Auburn, where they were playing with their food a little bit. I think they're locked in this year, and I think they just have more talent. I like the over. I like a lot of points, but I think A&M at least wins by a field goal. And in an exciting game, I could even see it being one where, Texas goes up big at one point, like we saw a couple weeks ago with A&M, and they have to fight their way back. But ultimately, this team seems to be too resilient, too well coached, and I like A&M to win.
I have no reason to feel this way, but give me the money line on Texas. I think hook 'em. I don't know why, other than it's just absolute chaos. Texas plays much better at home. They go on the road and look like crap to Georgia. They go on the road, look like crap to Kentucky. They go on the road, look like crap against Mississippi State. They play at home and they win football games. They're 8-3 on the year. There's no shot at a playoff anymore. There's no shot at an SEC championship game. But this is the state of Texas, and they will forever consider themselves as Big Brother, and I think they're kind of clicking at the right time, and they've got it in Austin. Just give me the horns, money line.
It's so tight, man, because right now on the money line, A&M on FanDuel is minus 124. A&M is plus 106 on the money line right now on FanDuel. This game is going to be close. Sark is still looking for that big win, right? Like, he beat Alabama early, but since then they've kind of sputtered along. Here's your shot.
And he may be looking for a job if he loses badly.
Mm-hmm. He could be, he may take his talents to the professional realm. There's still those rumors that are floating around out there. But Drew, next up, the big game, man. Ohio State and Michigan. This year is Ohio State opens as a 10.5-point favorite in a game that they should walk away with, Drew. But over the last 2 seasons, we've seen Michigan out physical. I guess it's 4. Yeah. Out physical Ohio State, forcing them to play their game and walking away with the win. What's your take on the Wolverines and Buckeyes, Drew?
I think Ohio State wins. I think this game is a weird game too. Like, Michigan had no business beating Ohio State last year. That was one of the biggest upsets of the year. It unlocked something. Ohio State, they ended up cruising through the playoff and not even, to my recollection, playing in close games through the playoffs and on the way to a national championship. And Michigan's going to take a lot of credit for that. Michigan's beat them four in a row, the last 2 as underdogs. And this one is in the big house again. This is in Michigan. I don't see Michigan winning this game. I can see them covering, but I just have a hard time thinking that you're just going to keep letting them beat you despite being the better team. And maybe it's in their heads. I don't know. Again, I don't predict chaos. I think Ohio State wins this game. And I'll take them to cover too.
All right, Zach, what you got?
Yeah, I mean, look, another all-time rivalry here. Grew up in an Ohio State household. Dad's a huge Bucks fan, and it's Ohio State against the team up north. Like, no M's, nothing like that, not allowed. Xing out the M's all week. Been talking to Pops. He's fired up for it. He thinks he was nervous last year. He didn't like what Day was doing with the team. Blah 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 blah. This year he's like, we're routing them. Like, so we'll see. I mean, it's a little insider information from a Bucks fan, but I think I'm with you guys here that Ohio State is too good. I mean, that's how we felt last year. And Michigan was bad last year. They're a good team this year.
Not bad this year.
Yeah, they're not bad, but I think Ohio State has too much talent. I think as long as Day just doesn't play with his food. I mean, the biggest thing is, like, last year he tried to beat them at their game instead of Ohio State like playing to their strengths. I think he learned a lesson from that last year. I think Ohio State's just too good. I think it's a little bit of a different roster makeup this year. So many of those guys last year, like, all they cared about was beating Michigan. And I think this year, this team's bigger focus is like, we're the best team in the country. We're going to go undefeated and prove that to everybody. And they're focused on that, and they're not putting too much at stake into this game. I think if you put too much at stake in this rivalry, you can get in your head a little too much, get out of rhythm, all of a sudden start freaking out about it. So I think it's going to be a good game, but ultimately I think Ohio State ends up kind of rolling in the second half. I just think Michigan's going to struggle to score. Ohio State's defense is just so elite that I like Ohio State by 2 touchdowns. So Bucks roll.
Yeah. So the last time Ohio State faced a good defense was Notre Dame in the national championship game last year. They have not faced a top 50 defense this entire season. Julian Sayin has been amazing. Like, he has just been feasting on Little Sisters of the Poor all year long. Ohio State has only given up 16 points. That's the most points they've given up, and that was at Illinois all year long. So I agree. I don't think Michigan's going to score anything. Michigan is top 15 to top 20 in every defensive category, including defensive efficiency, yards allowed, points per game, and the turnover margin, where they rank 13th nationally in the turnover margin. I think Ohio State wins this game. They finally get that monkey off their back, but I think it's an ugly football game. These are two elite defenses, and it's going to be which offense makes a mistake. I trust Bryce Underwood to make the mistake more than Julian Sayin. That's a weird way to say that, but I expect that to happen. Sayin's 27 touchdowns to 4 picks this year, 9 touchdowns to 5 for Underwood. Michigan likes to run the football more, but I just think Ohio State's defense is better. I think this is a close game. I'm going to take Michigan to cover. 10.5 is a big number for a rivalry game, but I think Ohio State does win, staying undefeated and heading to the Big Ten championship game, which will be a massive matchup with Indiana. So give me the Wolverines to cover, but the Bucks to win on the road. Not going to talk about it because it's not a huge rivalry, but we've got Miami at Pittsburgh. There is some ACC implications here. Pitt needs to win. Miami needs a ton of help. There's still like 5 teams in contention for the ACC championship. So one to keep an eye on for playoff contentions is Miami is, or considerations, a 6.5-point road favorite on FanDuel. But in an SEC rivalry game, we got the Vanderbilt Commodores, the Fighting Diego Pavias, heading to Knoxville with an opportunity to play spoiler on a Tennessee season. Now, Tennessee doesn't have playoff implications or SEC championship implications on the line in this game, but they've had a good season in Knoxville. They haven't beaten a ranked opponent all year. Tennessee's schedule, the only thing softer than Tennessee's schedule might have been Ole Miss's this year, although Ole Miss did play Georgia, a little shade there. That's all that was.
And Oklahoma. 2 top 10 teams.
Tennessee didn't play nobody even encroaching that. They played Oklahoma and they lost.
Alabama.
I forgot about the Alabama game. They played and they lost. They lost those games. They lost those games. They lost the games that they played against.
Beaten anybody.
Thank you. That's what I'm trying to say.
Your
That's what I'm trying to say. I'm on a roll trying to get, because I know we still got a lot to get to, but they haven't beaten anybody with a pulse all year long. Vanderbilt has the pulse coming in as the 14th ranked team in the country, something we never thought we'd say at the end of a college football season, maybe early, but not at the end of the year. Vandy is 9-2, 5-2 in conference play. They travel well. They played well on the road all year long. And what is likely Diego Pavia's last game could be Clark Lee's last game for the Commodores. I like the Commodores to go get the upset win. Nothing else. I've always hated Tennessee since I was a kid. 2.5 is a weird number for Knoxville. I feel like Tennessee has home field advantage more often than not. So I'm going to take the Doors to cover 2.5, Zach.
Yeah, I like Tennessee here. I games at home. I hate Diego Pavia, and I don't use that lightly. I cannot stand that guy. And I think
that has nothing to do with him being 2-0 against Auburn, 3-0 against Auburn.
He's 3-0 against Auburn. I mean, that certainly has something to do with it. But even a comment that stuck with me from the beginning of the year was when he was talking about how it was, Vanderbilt State now and how they're better than Tennessee and all that stuff. And if that stuck with me, I'm sure it stuck with everyone in that locker room. And I think that place is going to be rowdy. I think ultimately that's kind of the difference, is that it's at Tennessee. Neyland's going to be rocking. They probably don't like Diego. They don't like Vanderbilt. Rivalry game. I'm just glad this game matters. It's cool that we have another rivalry that actually matters, because normally Vandy's not good and Tennessee's been real bad for a while there too. But yeah, I think this whole Vanderbilt thing comes to an end. I think they're a little bit fraudulent, and I don't really want to see them flirting with that playoff. And so, I think Vanderbilt's probably the better team. Wouldn't be surprised if they grind out a win, but give me Tennessee.
I like it. Drew?
Anchor down, baby. I'm sticking with them.
You've been on
I
them
love
all year.
Pavia. I mean, if there's one thing that I've just been true about forever, is that I love a showman if you can back it up, and Pavia fits that to a bill. I love somebody who just goes there and talks so much crap and backs it up. I mean, he's done so good. I love him. He's as a character. I love the story that is Vanderbilt. I don't even care about Tennessee or Neyland or whatever. This is just strictly a Diego Pavia pick for me.
I like it. I like Clark Lee. That's who I'm picking for. I like what he's doing in Vanderbilt. I think he's a Vanderbilt dude. He's getting some traction for some big-time jobs, but Vanderbilt will probably be a stepping stone for him, but I like him there. He loves that university. I don't know.
Yeah.
I like Clark Lee and what he's building in Nashville.
It will be much harder for him to leave than any coach in the history of Vanderbilt because he did play there. He does love that place. And there are playoff implications if some little things go crazy. Vanderbilt winning, and they're hoping that Mississippi State knocks out Ole Miss because they're going to be one of the first in if there's any chaos at all.
I mean, there's a path to Vandy being that 10 or 11 seed, one of the at-larges, and it's not that rocky of a path. Like, it could happen. It just
starts on Rocky Top, though.
You got to take care of business on Rocky Top and then hope for the rest. But you got to go win your game before you start worrying about everybody else. Last thing, boys, before we get out of here, we got a college football playoff poll ranking last night that came out, and it wasn't without controversy, as these things have been. We got a quick video we're going to play. College football playoff committee commissioner Hunter Yurchek, who's apparently has a coach but doesn't have a coach. I don't know what's going on in Arkansas. We can't pick a college football coach.
Certified buffoon.
But we can pick the best teams in the country. So we're going to roll the tape, and then we're going to discuss.
With Oregon and Ole Miss swapping spots, how much of an impact potentially could it be on Ole Miss if it's determined they don't have their head coach in the field? 6, 7. But seriously, Rich, we did.
That's so bad. That's so
God,
bad.
Can we just sit in silence after that for a minute? Just Hunter Yurchek is just the biggest idiot. Like, people in Arkansas don't even like him. Boosters don't like him. Fans don't like him. Nobody likes him. But he's just one of those people that continue to fail upward. How in the world he is the committee chair is beyond me. How in the world we have a committee full of old white dudes who have the most biases ever in there. Like, it's just the most asinine way to go about this process, and then you put him in front of a microphone to justify the decisions of the cabal is beyond me. It's just the stupidest thing ever.
I have failed upward most of my life, but he has far surpassed anything I've ever done in getting in this job. And then then he just further supplants it when then he gets on a mic and has no good rationale. First, it was we have no data points to be able to tell the difference between Notre Dame and Miami because they're not in the same class. Buddy, I hate to tell you, but they played week 1. Like we have data points there. Now we're talking about we don't have a data point to determine what Ole Miss can be without Lane Kiffin.
He said that.
That's it. Like,
he is clearly projecting in a playoff is a reward for success. That's it. That is it. And he's like, well, we don't even know. It could be that the guy that they named the interim is an idiot. And it could be that this or that, or it could be that the whole team boycotts the university and walks off the field in the middle of the first playoff. It could be. It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. It was the same reason Florida State deserved to be in a couple years ago, Zach.
Yeah. I mean, win your games. I mean, and then it's just my biggest pet peeve is when people in power positions like that act like us, the audience, the fan, or whatever, are idiots. Yeah. And you're just going to hit us with a 6, 7, and we'll be like, oh, funny meme. No, it's this is
way too important for that.
This is why we play the games. I mean, it drives me crazy. And that's what they act like. First of all, they're not ball knowers, ball lovers, or anything like that. They're guys in quarter zips sitting around, and they think that they're moving all the chess pieces, and then they don't have the courtesy to just be transparent with us about it. And it drives me crazy.
The most egregious thing is the Miami Notre Dame thing, but at the end of the day, that's not going to bite them in the butt because Miami getting to the ACC championship game is a long shot, and the winner of the ACC is going to be the only ACC team that gets in. Yeah. So it's not going to bite them in the butt, but it just shows that they don't know what they're talking about because 100%. What they need to do, if they're just dead set, whoever makes this decision, first off, who decides that we have a committee instead of a BCS poll? Who decides who's on this committee that we made up? But if they decided, the cabal or the Oz or whoever's behind the curtain here, whoever decided that it needs to be a committee of old dudes who are athletic directors, what they should have also decided is that, or what they should have seen rather, is that we've decided this unilaterally. This is what we're going to do, and the only way to make us look like not idiots further is just don't even go justify it. Don't go on the media. Like, because you're going to go out there, and PR 101 tells you, if you're going to get in front of a microphone and say something stupid, then just don't get in front of the microphone at all.
Exactly right. And yet he
Just
continues to go out.
Just have a set of rules and tell us what it is. And then that way everyone knows. But instead, it's just this it's fairy dust. It's not real. And so then we just,
what you're
it's
seeing
ridiculous.
is they're putting the people that they want there, and then they're backtracking, making the math so that they can justify why they're there. That's why we talked about rushing yards for Notre Dame over Miami 2 weeks ago. Now we're talking about a projection. Like, it's a reward, not a predictive system, like Drew said earlier. We were up in arms on this show about Florida State being left out a couple of years ago because it wasn't the right call. Same thing here. As I hate Ole Miss. I have every reason for them to not be in the college football
Please
playoff.
feel free to justify this before you say something nice.
I'm just saying, like, I hate them, and they deserve to be there. They've earned it, and they have fought their way there, whether they have Lane Kiffin or not. They deserve to be in it. But it's just all up and down the board. There is no recognition of James Madison, who has got one loss at Louisville this year. It's been a phenomenal Sun Belt Group of 5 team that should be in the conversation. But now the only ranked Group of 5 team is a 2-loss Tulane. And yes, one of the losses was to Ole Miss. But they've set this thing up. They've got Tennessee ranked 19, who is, again, like I said earlier, hasn't played anybody. AKA also hasn't beat anybody that of ranked of any significance, and we continue to move the goalposts to justify who we want to be there instead of the most deserving.
And let me be honest, there are metrics if you want to choose. They have guidelines. They just cherry pick them.
Right.
And they said they were going to focus on strength of schedule, so they jumped Ole Miss with Oregon after Ole Miss had a bye. They lost the bye somehow, and they're going to go out there and say Oregon has a better strength of schedule. It's like 45 to 60 or whatever is the difference in strength of schedule metrics for those two teams. But other metrics are just ignored. Like, Oregon has one good win on the season. Ole Miss has 3. The better conference, anything else that could go on. I have no business. They're just cherry picking stuff. They're going to fit their narrative, like Rusty said. The answer, you make the answer, the equation fit the answer, and it's
right now, stupid. if we did the BCS, if the BCS was released this week based on the results so far, obviously Ohio State, Indiana, Texas A&M, that's 1, 2, 3, just like what we see. Then you would have Georgia at 4, Oregon at 5, Ole Miss at 6, Texas Tech at 7, 8 would be Oklahoma, 9 is Notre Dame, 10 Alabama, then BYU, Utah, and Vandy, 11, 12, 13. Your group of 5 teams are Tulane at 21, North Texas at 20, who's not even in the playoff poll.
Oh, they just lost their coach. Beware.
Tulane, that's it. They can't be there. Tulane at 21. And then James Madison at 22.
And the Texas Tech thing's another thing because, again, if strength of schedule matters supreme and Oregon's going to jump Ole Miss because of strength of schedule, Texas Tech's strength of schedule sucks. They play in a bad conference, and they have this metric that when they talk about Texas Tech, they talk about a whole different metric. It's game control. They love Texas Tech's game control. They're blowing out everybody. But I don't particularly care. My team plays in the SEC. They play better competition, and every game's close. There's parity. Game control shouldn't matter because it benefits poorer conferences, which is what the Big 12 is. Mm-hmm. It's just selective metrics. Whatever justify the ends, got to justify the means.
Which is why they have Arizona State ranked 20th to justify that Texas Tech loss. I don't know that Arizona State should be that high. And they've got them at 20, so it's still a good loss for Texas Tech, the one loss that they have. Like, I don't know. The whole system's busted. I say I keep the 12-team playoff. I'm fine with that, but let's go back to the BCS, the algorithms, and math. Math and facts trump your feelings, Hunter Yurchek. I'm sorry. I don't care about your little trendy jokes. There's too much money on the line, too much pride and passion on the line. Let's get this freaking thing right. And speaking of getting this thing right, we're going to sign off for the day and head off to Thanksgiving. Zach, I appreciate your time, buddy. We kept you for a while today. Thanks for hopping in with us and talking ball. Drew, appreciate you being here. Everybody in the comments, thank y'all for hanging out with us. Y'all go have a wonderful Thanksgiving. Enjoy the season. Enjoy the family time. Appreciate the family members that you have that are sitting around that table with you. Enjoy it. Reminisce. Eat plenty. If you don't have somebody to spend time with, or if you know somebody that has fun to spend time with, reach out. Be a friend to somebody who needs a friend, especially during the holiday season. Call us. The $2 line is always open. Let us know. There'll be plenty of food around the table at the Witten and the Gann house that you could come join us. That's for sure. But y'all have a great Thanksgiving. Be a friend to somebody who needs a friend. And Drew, tell them why there are no refunds.
That's right. We're the $2 Sports Show. You always get what you pay for. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. We're thankful for y'all. Call us if you need anybody to spend it with, and we will see you on Monday.
Thank you for listening to the $2 Sports Show. If you enjoyed this episode, leave a rating and a review wherever you download your podcasts. Also, like and subscribe to Bluff City Media's YouTube page. We'll see you back here next time.